I know inflation is real because men don't even send bottles to the tables anymore. In pre-COVID, I used to go out with my girls and we wouldn't spend a dime. Like that was guaranteed. Like that was common knowledge. We weren't going to spend a single dollar because guys from a distance would just be like, sending Patron, Casamigos, like enjoy, not even try to come to us to talk, to harass us, bother us, nothing. I know people have had war stories of like guys that would buy you a drink, bottles, and then if you wouldn't pay them attention or they assume that because they bought you a drink or a bottle, they're going to take you home with them. And if you didn't, then they would like hurt you outside of the club. Or I'm Dominican. I never experienced that. We used to be in the Dominican clubs in the city, in Jersey, everywhere. And a bottle girl would just come up to us like, hey, they asked to cover your tab, or these guys sent you this bottle, and those from afar just like wave like, enjoy, enjoy. Not even come out to us and try to harass us. Like literally just like, enjoy. Ahora, ni una hookah, mi amor. Nothing. Not even a hookah refill. Inflation, man. Inflation's got us girls spending our own money. I don't like it.
The game has fundamentally changed, especially for women used to the old way. Let's be real. The era of the freeloader, where you could just show up, look pretty, and collect free drinks and attention, that's officially over. Between the current economic pressures, changing social values, and simple common sense, men just aren't giving out those freebies anymore. They're not rewarding entitlement. If you want to enjoy life now, it takes actual effort, not just a pretty face.
Is that the good guys are done with dating.
I think she's pandering a little, but there is a lot of this going on right now. Now, I'm not saying that I'm a good guy. I'm not saying that all good guys are single or that all single guys are good. I'm just saying that a lot of us are kind of here right now. When I was a teenager, I thought dating worked like this. I did not know that this step was going to be here. I guess we could call this a negotiationship. It's when someone is not willing to give 100%. And it always happens when somebody drops the ball. For me, I've experienced a lot of ghosting, a lot of trading up, and it doesn't matter which guy I am. Even if I'm this guy, how do I know you're not gonna just do this? Couple women showed up wearing wedding rings. That does not inspire confidence. The most common thing for me is that we get to this stage and she says she wants to be polyamorous, which means she already is. I even had a crush on someone in 5th grade, and she didn't like me until after college, and we hung out for a month before she told me that she had a boyfriend. I've had some people tell me that I might just be attracting this kind of woman, and maybe that's true, or maybe they just shouldn't be doing these things, but for now, I'm just kind of out of ideas.
It's not dating anymore, it's a negotiationship. At this point, we're not looking for love, we're just bartering for attention. Women are constantly juggling 3 other guys, managing options like it's a high-stakes sport. Meanwhile, men are just sick of it. Ghosted, traded up for the next best thing, or pulled into confusing, non-monogamous situations they never signed up for. The good, solid guys who actually give their all are the ones getting nothing real in return. It's no shock that they're completely exhausted, distrustful, and ready to walk away from a dating scene that honestly feels totally meaningless.
When men say they're done with dating, that doesn't mean they're done with relationships. It doesn't mean they're giving up on starting families. It doesn't mean anything like that. It just means they're done with dating, okay? And I think a lot of them have a hard time verbalizing this, so that's what I'm going to try to do in this video. Now, there's a little bit of an unwritten rule that men are starting to understand about dating, and you've probably heard people say this in the past. If not, you're going to hear it now, but the only winning move is to not play. In regards to dating, the only winning move is to not play. That's what men are starting to realize. Again, like I said, relationships are fine. Families, fine. Dating, not good. Let me explain why. And this is the part that a lot of people have a hard time verbalizing. This is the dating experience for a man who's actually dating. It could be with your wife. It could be with your girlfriend. It could be a woman that you just met, somebody on Tinder that you're taking out on a first date, whatever. Typically, you have to find a nice little venue to go to. You might just go to dinner, but typically you want to go out and have a good time. So you find a nice venue with good music that you like. You pick her up. You drive to the venue. You park. You pay her $10 to park or whatever. And then you walk to the front door and you wait in line. It's not the greatest experience, but you do what you have to do. Then finally you get to the door. And when you get to the door, there's some 7-foot monster roided up standing there, and he looks at your girl and he says, "You're good." And he throws her a compliment, compliments her looks a little bit. "You're good, looking good tonight. You can go in." And then he looks at you, the man, and he says, "That'll be $20 for you, dirtbag." Maybe it's not that harsh. Sometimes it's not that harsh. Sometimes it's even more harsh than that. But I'm not talking about the words here. It's the action. And the action is she gets in free and the man has to pay $20 to get in, $25, sometimes higher to get in. Now, everybody knows this is true. They have ladies' night and, things like this happen. And we've just grown to expect it. This is the norm. But every man knows when he's at the front door and his girl can go in for free and he just has this cuckening moment, this humiliating moment where it's like, she can go in, but I'm so unwanted here that I have to pay. And that's the way the system is set up.
It feels like the benefits of dating and marriage have just vanished. So many women today seem to bring entitlement, constant drama, and a lot of baggage to the table, and not enough peace, loyalty, or genuine love. Men are simply exhausted from the empty promises and the disrespect. Honestly, all they're looking for is a little peace and quiet, not all this chaos.
Pay attention to me tonight. I'm so sick of the. Oh my God. Hot your boob, buy a drink. I mean, it's like very simple.
She's so mad. Okay, why is she mad? Well, because she got all dolled up. See that tight fitted orange dress, right? Did her hair, went to the nail salon, got a special little mani-pedi, Maybe did a little waxing because she thought she was going to get funky that night, right? And she went out and no one is giving her any time. Attractive girl. So she's like, what is going on? She goes home, she looks in the mirror. She's like, making sure. She's like, no, I look good, right? Asked her friends, like, is this look? Oh yeah, you look amazing, which they'll say even if she doesn't look amazing. But honey, any guy would be just so lucky to have you. I know, right? And like her and all her friends are just like, why? I told you, guys are tired. Guys are tired of you. They're tired of you pretending to want to take them seriously when you really just want the free drinks. They're tired of going up to you and you being like, thanks for the drink, doing this game you do. Tired. They're tired of the takers. They're tired. They don't want to deal with any of that. They're tired of, you meet all of these qualifications, right? You got all the qualifications and she's talking to you and she's like, oh, but, there's this one thing. He has a boat and it's red and I don't like the color red. Oh, right. Because they feel like they can be so picky that they've got everything met, but they can just nitpick about everything, right? They're tired of you. You want guys to come up to you, change your attitude, change your strategy, treat them differently. And that's going to have to happen over a long period of time, right? It took decades to get here. Guys finally saying, I am done with you. And social media played a big part because now they go on socials and they see women talking all their crap. So they're like, oh, I know what's going on now behind the scenes. When I walk away after buying you that drink, I know you're making a fool out of me. They're like, I'm done. You're going to make a fool out of me? Honey, now I'm going to make a fool out of you. I'm going to sit at that bar. I'm going to drink my scotch. I'm not buying you nothing. I'm not even looking your way. That's what's going on. Change your attitude. It's going to take a long time for guys to feel like you've changed genuinely, and then you'll see. But for now, especially in the cities, guys are just sitting back with their drink and they're just letting this drama unfold. It's hilarious. It's like, they're frazzled cats.
Here's the pattern. Arrogant in their 20s, totally delusional in their 30s, bitter by their 40s, and then facing loneliness in their 50s. By 60, they're simply forgotten. Why? They chose the chaotic drama. We chose peace. Simple as that. Men are checking out of the dating scene and the results are undeniable. The free drinks are gone. The relentless chasing? Over. We're not inflating anyone's ego just because they put on a dress and some makeup anymore. Decades of feeling entitled, playing mind games, and holding us to impossible standards killed the whole vibe. Now guys are finally just walking away. They hate it because the constant attention they depended on is drying up. But honestly, they built this reality. Men realized it was a scam, hit the exit button, and chose self-respect, money, and quiet lives instead. Their tantrums don't land anymore. The whole bar scene is dead, and so is their illusion that male validation would be endless.
Okay, now I want you to think of the perspective of a guy. I'll never know what's in a man's head, but I have a pretty good idea from like my guy friends and going out a lot. Guys are intimidated by you, okay? They don't all have that courage or charisma or just bravery to go up to you like you have to somebody else. And on top of just being intimidated by going up to a stranger in general, you're probably surrounded by a big group of friends. And even worse if you're surrounded by your guy friends, because they're going to assume that you're dating one of them, and no one wants to go up to a girl who's surrounded by a bunch of guys, okay? It's just a cock block. So now you're probably thinking, okay, we have this information, but what do we do with it? First off, I don't really think bars are the best place to really find a relationship. It's great to meet people, have fun, really get to know other people. But if you're putting all your eggs in one basket and really putting so much pressure on finding a guy that will take you seriously, it's going to be very hard. The other thing is that we always make fun of dating apps a lot, but I think the percentage is something like 60% of people now meet their significant other on the internet, because people don't go up to other people anymore because they know they can meet you on a dating app. It's so much easier. This past Saturday, I literally went up to a group of guys and was like, do you want to play cards? I wasn't attracted to any of them, but I'm so happy I did it because I made a new group of friends and it was so much fun. And initially I thought that they weren't that fun. Like, they just seemed like they were like moping around. They all had RBFs, like whatever. And I went up to them and they ended up being the funniest group of guys ever. And I'm sure a lot of guys think of you that way too. You might have like an RBF, or just you don't seem approachable, but little do they know how you really are. So the takeaway from this video is that guys not coming up to you out in public says nothing about you. You can literally be like Gigi Hadid and a guy's still not going to come up to you. Guys are intimidated, and it takes so much courage to go up to a girl. And a lot of guys are cheap and just don't want to buy you a drink, and they're scared of getting used for a drink, which kind of sucks, but I understand. So do not weigh your worth and whether or not people come up to you, because you are probably way more stunning and people are probably way more attracted to you than you think.
Wait, seriously? Did they really just say, come on, guys, just make us feel good about ourselves? That's the moment they slip up and expose the narcissist underneath. And the minute they do, what's their next move? Blame us, of course.
Culture for sure needs healing, because what do you mean I go to a bar and this guy buys me a drink and everybody at the bar is like, like everyone was like shocked that a man bought me a drink. It was like they were watching a TV show. Like suddenly people sitting next to me are like whispering about it. People sitting on the other side whispering. The bartenders are like, yeah. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, are we okay? So I go to this bar by myself. I was just kind of exploring the neighborhood. I was going to bars I hadn't been to because I was staying at a hotel nearby. And the bar was kind of new, so I go in there. I just wanted to like just experience it and get a drink. I literally just got a beer. Sat by myself at the bar with a beer. Within like 5 minutes or so, the bartender walks up to me and he's like, hey, the guy at the end of the bar wants to buy you a drink. And I was like, oh, okay, who? And I go and I look, and this guy's like, who? He's kind of like goofy and like, you know, not my type. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was kind of thinking about it. And then the guy walks over and he was like, I just want to say you're so beautiful. And like, I would love to just do something nice for you. Love to buy you a drink if you don't mind. And like, normally I'm not really cool with doing that, because accepting a drink from a man you're not interested in can lead to some very crazy and sometimes dangerous situations. It's kind of a safety issue, because if you're not interested, men don't tend to react well to that. But he really was saying that he was doing it just to be nice, and that he was, you know, he made it sound like it was low pressure. I was like, okay. So he sits down next to me, and I don't know why. I guess maybe people were surprised that I like accepted the drink, or that I allowed him to sit next to me. It was just a very weird reaction from everyone at the bar, like, oh my gosh, he's buying the drink and he's taking the drink with her and he's sitting with her. It was like, not that people were saying that to me, but people were like looking at me. The bartenders were like, I'm like, are we like, is this really that weird? I could tell, like, yes, there was a bit of a discrepancy, maybe like conventional attractiveness. I don't know. This man had like a very strange beard, and like, he was wearing kind of funky clothes. I don't know. He seemed nice though. I was like, whatever, he seems nice. I'm not doing anything. I'm bored, I guess. So I'll accept the drink. It felt like such a presentation. I felt like I was suddenly had the spotlight on me, like right now, and everyone was watching my life like a reality show. Like, people were just like looking over and they look away and they're like, oh, I'm like, is this so unusual? Like, men are not buying drinks for women, that when they do it, people feel like they're watching a show. So I chat with the guy. He asked me about myself. I, have some casual conversation. He throws out a bunch of compliments. He asks me to take his number. I take his number, just, and I talked to him for like, I don't know, 20 minutes. And then at some point I was like, okay, nice meeting you. And then at some point he got up and he walked away, and it was very normal. He was not like doing too much. He insisted that I take his number. I think he knew that I wasn't going to use it for anything, but whatever, just to humor him, I just took his number. But I think we need to kind of normalize when men buy drinks from women. Like, it's okay. I just couldn't believe how people at the bar were reacting. They were just making it seem like something really crazy just happened. And for anyone in the comments, it's like, wow, that was a waste of money for him or whatever. Like, it wasn't a waste of money for him because he had all eyes on him in the bar for 20 minutes. Everybody in the bar was like, wow, he must be cool because she's talking to him. So it wasn't a waste.
You know what's funny? The minute a guy actually steps up to buy a drink, just sighing it's either he's totally broke or just not your type. Seriously, there's no winning. Guys put themselves out there, get shot down, and somehow they're the bad guys. Dating these days is just a battlefield of totally impossible standards. That's it for this video, guys. Help us grow by subscribing to the channel. Drop your thoughts down below and don't forget to leave a like as well. See you next time.